More than 1,000 people die in Myanmar earthquake. The death toll from a huge earthquake that hit Myanmar and Thailand passed 1,000 yesterday, as rescuers dug through the rubble of collapsed buildings in a desperate search for survivors. The shallow magnitude 7.7 quake struck northwest of the city of Sagaing in central Myanmar in the early afternoon, followed minutes later by a magnitude 6.7 aftershock. The quake destroyed buildings, downed bridges and buckled roads across swaths of Myanmar, with massive destruction in Mandalay, the country's second biggest city and home to more than 1.7 million people. At least 1,007 people were killed and about 2,400 were injured in Myanmar, with 30 more missing, the junta said in a statement. However, with communications badly disrupted, the true scale of the disaster is only starting to emerge from the isolated military-ruled state, and the toll is expected to rise significantly. More than 90 people could be trapped in the crushed remains of one apartment block in Mandalay, a Red Cross official said. This was the biggest quake to hit Myanmar in decades, and the tremors were powerful enough to severely damage buildings across Bangkok, hundreds of kilometers away from the epicenter. Damage to the airport would complicate relief efforts in a country whose rescue services and healthcare system have already been ravaged by 4 years of civil war sparked by a military coup in 2021. Junta Chief Min Aung Hlaing on Friday issued an exceptionally rare appeal for international aid, indicating the severity of the calamity. Previous military governments have shunned foreign assistance, even after major natural disasters. The country declared a state of emergency across the 6 worst affected regions after the quake, and at one major hospital in the capital, Naypyidaw, medics were forced to treat the wounded in the open air. Offers of foreign assistance began coming in, with U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday pledging U.S. help. An initial flight from India carrying hygiene kits, blankets, food and other essentials landed in the commercial capital Yangon yesterday. China said it sent an 82-person team of rescuers to Myanmar. Aid agencies have warned that Myanmar is unprepared to deal with a disaster of this magnitude. About 3.5 million people were displaced by the raging civil war, many at risk of hunger, even before the quake struck. Across the border in Bangkok, rescuers worked through the night searching for survivors trapped when a 30-story skyscraper under construction collapsed, reduced in seconds to a pile of rubble and twisted metal by the force of the shaking. Toll.
意外或灾害造成的伤亡、损失、破坏、过路费、过桥费。
Rubble.
建筑物倒塌或毁坏后遗留下的瓦砾堆、破砖烂瓦、碎砖石堆。
Collapse.
名词，崩溃、企业、组织的失败、瓦解、昏迷。动词，倒塌、崩溃。
Desperate search.
不顾一切的、拼命的搜寻、搜索。
magnitude, magnitude,
强度、亮度、重大、重要性。
strike, strike,
动词，罢工、打击、撞击、侵袭、重创。名词，罢工、打击、撞击、攻击。
junta, junta,
透过武力取得政权的军事政府。
disrupt, disrupt,
打断、终止、扰乱。
disaster, disaster,
严重灾难、重大祸害。
remains, remains,
遗迹、残骸、遗址、残留剩余之物、废墟。
tremor, tremor,
轻微的地震，因情绪紧张或兴奋的发抖、颤抖、骚动。
epicenter, epicenter,
地震的震央，爆炸事件的中心点。
complicate, complicate,
使某事复杂化，更难处理。
military coup, military coup,
军事政变。
calamity, calamity,
重大的灾难、事故、灾祸。
medic, medic,
医生、救护人员。
hygiene kit, hygiene kit,
卫生用品组合套装包。
essential, essential,
形容词，必要的、不可缺少的。名词，绝对必要的物品。
displaced, displaced,
背井离乡的，流离失所的，被迫迁移的，被迫失业的。
raging civil war, raging civil war,
激烈惨重的内战。